Hey, everybody. Sorry, we were waiting to see if everything was connected. We're here tonight, and this is our Giving Thanks episode.
Woohoo!
We are so happy that it is finally here. I have counted down. We got past October. Hallelujah. Praise you, Jesus.
Yep.
It was a tough one, and now with the nights being darker sooner, I need a little bit of light in my life this week. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but tonight we're going to bring that. These incredible women are going to bring that. Unfortunately, one of them cannot be here, but don't you worry. We're going to visit Sela's house, which is maybe a lot of you do not know what that is, and I'll read more about what it is at the end of the show, but I'm going to do, because she couldn't make it, and trust me, it is okay. We know that life happens, but we're going to come out Thursday, and I'm going to have a bonus episode one-on-one with them, so that's exciting. We can't wait for that, but these two ladies are here tonight. They have incredible organizations tonight. That was our technical person. Don't mind us. This is all real. This is live.
Yeah, it's real.
This is just what happens. But again, we thank you for joining us. We thank you for coming and being a part of tonight's show. I am Karen Lynn Pierce. This is She Is Strong. And Sandy, what are you doing? What's that? Hang on. Technical difficulties. 1 second. Are we good? Are we good? Okay. Thumbs up from our lady in the technical department. Good
Thank
job.
God. Thank God.
We're good. Oh, we're okay. If you hear that again, that's just we're working out the kinks on our tech, but we're going to get there. It's going to be great. But again, I am Karen Lynn Pierce. I'm the founder of She Is Strong. I started this back in May because my mom is the strongest woman that I know. She passed in October, and in order to pay homage to her, this is what God laid on my heart. And our mission here is to remind women of Proverbs 31:25. She is clothed in strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. That is our platform, and we know that these women are doing that. They're going to tell you how in just a minute. I'm founder of this. I'm also a wife. I'm a mom. I'm my favorite thing, a lolly, and more than anything, I'm a servant to God. And I just want to follow him and everything he has for me. He has a lot of stuff for you guys tonight, but that's who I am. And now I'm going to introduce you to my Naomi. This is Mammy, and let her tell you about herself. Oh, I'm also a real estate agent in my real life. Go ahead.
That's right.
Yeah,
In the real world.
In the real world.
Pay the bills. Yeah, my name is Leslie Venable, also known as Mammy. I am the Naomi, because when the Lord had explained to Karen or asked Karen to do it multi-generational.
That's right.
And so I hate to say this, but I think I'm the oldest one thus far.
Barely.
But that's okay. I've made it to 70.
Whoop, whoop.
Very strong, very healthy. I feel like I've got probably 20, 25 more good years.
There you go.
It's not 100?
I don't know. Now, see, all y'all be done gone. If I lived 100, all y'all would be gone.
Methuselah.
But anyhow, I do have 3 children. I've got wonderful. They're married. Got one that's single. But I've got great grandchildren, 4 grandchildren, and I got a Labradoodle, a grand dog Labradoodle.
So cute.
Who's Miss Daisy. And that movie Driving Miss Daisy, that's what I do. When she's with me, I drive Miss Daisy around. She's my shadow. But anyhow, I'm thankful to be here. I'm excited about these 2 ladies. I call them saints.
Agreed.
I call them saints because when you hear what all they do, they've been empowered to do something that I've never done, and I'm honored to know them, and I'm thankful y'all are here.
Thank you.
Thank you for having
And
us.
the other thing, y'all, there is another Leslie, and she spells it Leslie.
And their birthdays are one day apart.
Yeah,
They
she's
are
February
incredible.
the 24th. I'm February the 25th.
They're basically
so this is so cool.
Now, there is one thing I want to say before we start. Cindy's going to start off talking about the ministry that she's with. She's with Manna and Manna Ministries. She's going to tell you all about that. And this, again, is Leslie Spencer, and she's going to tell you about all her organization, which is Royal Family Kids, RFC. And she's going to tell you all about that. But before that happens, we want you to get out pencil.
Yes.
I see you, Mammy. We want you to get out a pencil, a piece of paper, because what you're going to hear about these organizations, There's somebody at some point that's going to need this information. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's your friend. Maybe it's your neighbor. Maybe it's the woman who brings your groceries to your door from DoorDash. But we know that there are people that need these places, and we want you to be able to not only know about them, to know how to get in touch with them, but also what you can do to help them. Because people are always, this is not just a Thanksgiving and Christmas thing.
Right.
People need stuff every day.
Absolutely.
And this is a wonderful time of the year to spotlight these places, but never forget that these places always need you. They always need help. So, again, so thankful for both of you. And Cindy,
thank you so much.
Me and Cindy go back a few years. We actually did Freedom. And now she's teaching my daughter Freedom. If you don't know what Freedom is, it's an amazing Bible study that will change your life. It changed ours. Yep. And she's teaching my daughter Peyton, and that is the coolest thing. I can't tell
circle.
you. It is a full circle moment.
Yep.
So she does more than just what she's doing here. But again, Cindy, you start us off and tell us everything. She was in her little note tonight. She was like, y'all know how much I love to talk about Manna, and I'm like, we can't wait to hear everything you've got to say.
So many details.
So many things. So tell us about Manna Ministries.
Thank you so much. Well, I'm Cindy Hilbrick, and I'm so passionate about Manna Ministries, where I volunteer. Manna Ministries is located in Alabaster, and what we do is we hand out food. So, and people are like, oh, well, you know, what do you hand out? Everything. We hand out breads, sweets, produce, frozen meat, deli items, dairy items. We have Milo's tea. We have milk. We have eggs. The third Saturday of the month, we have a chicken farmer in Clanton. It's actually Hunter Camp that goes to our campus.
My gosh. Hey, Hunter.
Thank you, Hunter.
Thank you, Hunter.
Oh, wow.
He donates eggs the third Saturday of the month. And so we hand out like flats of eggs.
Wow.
We have just so many different partnerships. And so the way it works is we have stores like Publix in Alabaster and Pelham, Aldi in Alabaster and Pelham, Neighborhood Walmart in Alabaster, Walmart in Calera. Those are our main stores.
Okay.
And so we have volunteers all throughout the week that will go to that store, pick up the items that are being donated to Manna, bring them to Manna, and then they put them in a buggy, and they write, you know, Monday, Publix Pelham, and they just leave it there.
Okay.
On Fridays, we have our little Friday crew. Erin is one of our Friday crew people. So, hey, Erin.
Erin is also a teacher of the Bible study that we were talking about that my daughter's at, who actually was at a Bible study that I was at. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
And Nanette is on our Friday crew, and her sister, Miss Barbara, was my first Freedom leader.
Really?
So
Oh, my gosh.
with Julie. So, anyway.
Julie.
We love y'all.
We love Erin.
So on Fridays, our crew comes in, and because we are a partner with the Community Food Bank in Homewood, we have to weigh all of those items that were donated. And then at the end of the week, we have to report to them which items we received. So like bakery has a column.
Oh, okay. Dairy
has a column. Frozen meats has a column, etc. So we weigh all that and kind of get it organized. And then the food bank will bring us 2 trucks. We always pray that there's a lot of food on them. Sometimes there's not. Sometimes we get 3 trucks. Sometimes we get 1. But those are called drop-offs. So we have drop-offs on Fridays. And then
this is a whole well-oiled machine, isn't it? My goodness.
It seems to be.
Yeah.
we put on a good front sometimes.
You pulled us.
There's hiccups, but we, with God's grace and power, we're able to circumvent most of them and just keep it running. So we have a truck that we send to the food bank, and we get what are called top-offs. So we will get either 6 or 8 pallets. This last week we had a pallet of Milo's tea. We had a pallet of potatoes, 2 pallets of zucchini, and I can't even remember what was on the back. We get sweet potatoes and apples and butternut squash and cabbage, everybody's favorite, big heads of cabbage. And a lot of that is USDA that the food bank is able to get. So, and then we have another smaller truck that we will take to the foundry in Pelham, but not to the store where everybody like can shop, but to the warehouse. And so they have things that they've been getting rid of, like spaghetti noodles and candy cane Skittles, Skittle candy canes, candy, pink lemonade, hand sanitizer. I mean, we get all sorts of things.
That's amazing.
And then on Saturday mornings, we're open every Saturday, except for major holidays. So on Saturday mornings, we hand out all of the food. And you're like, well, all of it? Almost all of it. We can't keep any of the perishable items.
Sure.
We do have a walk-in freezer, so we're able to keep a little bit of meat. One of the things that I'm responsible for is our inventory. So what's coming and going, the dates, first in, first out, last out, first in, last out. And I'm always nervous on what we're going to get next week. And I really want to make sure that we are able to provide a frozen meat for a family. So ground beef or chicken or fish or whatever it is. So I typically will hold back a little bit in the freezer. But everything else has to go. And we do keep, in our basement, we keep canned items, pasta, beans, peanut butter and jelly if we have it. But all of the fresh stuff that was picked up during the week, it's got to go.
It's got to go. And so they come on Saturdays, and what time do you open on Saturdays, and how do you manage that? Because it's growing. I remember
I have to be honest, right?
Yeah.
You're right.
Yes, this is a real show. Tell us the truth.
So the truth is, I get there at 4 a.m. And we used to have such a traffic jam in front of our location. We're on Smoky Road. We're almost on the corner of Smoky Road and 119, and we had a huge traffic jam. City wasn't happy. We weren't happy. Clients weren't happy. Police weren't happy. So Church of the Highlands so graciously is allowing us to use their parking lot for our clients to park there and sign in. So thank you so much, Alabaster location. We're so grateful for you.
Love y'all.
Wow.
Love y'all.
So it's close there. I know
It's
where
right
they are.
around the corner.
Not even a minute away.
Okay.
Yeah, right around the corner.
Not even a minute. So did they go there and then they come to you?
Yes.
And shift?
So they will go there first.
Okay.
To be able to get signed in. And when I'm going there at 4 a.m., there's usually a car or two or three in line already.
Oh my goodness.
And it just breaks my heart.
Breaks my heart.
There was one lady I asked one time, I said, you were here so early, like, oh my goodness, why were you here early? She said, I had acid reflux. I couldn't sleep, so I figured I'd get in line. And I was like, okay, cool.
Might as well get up and get there.
That's right. And some people work the night shift and they just come right in line, or they need to get there early because I have to go to work. This Saturday I had someone, and I'll explain this part in a second, but I had somebody that came over to the Manna parking lot and was like, I got to be at work in like an hour. And I'm like, I'll take care of you. Come on. And so I just let her skip in front of everybody.
Don't tell them that.
But
all those people
they're all going to be like,
wait,
I got to go to work. I got to go to work.
I'm going to do that. Yeah.
No, we know.
Catch you.
We know. So they go to Highlands first.
Okay.
And they will get in line and they will get registered. So we have a crew that signs everybody in. They are allowed to pick up for up to 3 families. So it has to be 3 different addresses. So that would be your neighbor or a friend down the street or someone from church, whoever that can't get there. Maybe they're elderly, maybe they just had surgery, whatever the situation is. So we do allow for that. Meanwhile, the crew at Manna, we are getting things ready. We bring pallets out. It is kind of a well-oiled machine. We have it set up kind of in a circle, more of a square, but we just have all these pallets, and the way it works is that empty buggy, we put a box in it and it just goes in that circle, and we have volunteers at each station. They put in a certain number of items into that box. It goes up to our loading team and the cars come down. Once COVID hit, we had to make a big change. They used to come in the basement and shop. 125 families would be a busy day. 175, like, oh my goodness.
That's a lot of people.
Oh, wait.
Our record was the first weekend in September, 921 families. And so,
one day.
in 2.5 hours.
Oh,
wow.
I kind of joke, I'm like, it's Chick-fil-A on crack. Like, I mean, it really
That's
is.
amazing, sad, and wonderful all at the same time.
It is, and I'll cry.
It's okay.
But
You have to
last year we hit, when we started hitting the 750 and 800 regularly, I was driving home and I was like, this would be like if we took a box of food to everybody in my neighborhood twice. And
it's a big neighborhood.
It was a decent sized neighborhood.
Yeah.
It was, several streets, probably 300 something homes. So you're taking 2 boxes, and it just, you just can't fathom that. And there's so many different reasons for the need. We get phone calls, just lost my job, was just diagnosed with cancer. I don't work, and my husband just passed. So many so many heartbreaking stories. And so we are here to not only provide the physical needs for them, but the spiritual needs as well. And so we'll pray for them in the parking lot. I know the sign-in crew will pray. We do have a small prayer team.
It's such a beautiful thing. I have been there whenever this is going on, and seeing people praying, holding these elderly or these just young parents, and their tears down their face because they're so grateful. And it seems like we're doing it for them, but at the same time, you can tell the people that are doing it are just being so blessed and moved by the fact they get to do this for somebody else. You know what I mean? It's 100%. It's just a wonderful,
100%.
thing.
Yeah. So we have a handful of board members, and then we have an advisory board, so that we're kind of grooming them to take some board positions.
Sure.
Besides our regular board members, I mean, it really takes about 40 volunteers every Saturday. Wow. So that's one way that you can help us out. And if you'd like to check us out and volunteer, you don't have to be there at 4 a.m.
Everybody's not sitting.
No. Volunteers need to be there by 6:45, and we finish up about 10:30, 10:45. Just depends on how much we have to clean up. It depends on how many families we have. If we're able to get them through the line in kind of an efficient manner, which we did have an engineer out a couple months ago, and he said, "Do you know how quickly you're loading 4 cars, like from pulling up, parking, loading, and sending out?" And I was like, I have no idea.
You mean
Never
like
thought about
timing it?
Yeah, he was timing it. Minute and 15 seconds. And I was like, well,
better than McDonald's.
That's great. And we were 4 at a time instead of 1 at a time.
Wow.
But again, and I always tell the volunteers, we want to be quick, we want to be efficient, but we're not here to just shove them through. We are here to smile and say, have a blessed day, have a great day, how are you? And if they're coming through and they get to that point, they've already passed the sign-in people. We do send over a certain amount to our parking lot. We start with 60, and then we start sending them, and then we send 20 at a time. So then they've hit another opportunity for prayer. But if they make it down to the loading and you can tell they're upset, please stop. Like, we will pray for them. It's not, we'll
the main thing
we'll
is
take
them.
5 minutes, if we have to. Yeah, the main thing is the main thing, right?
The main thing. It's about them.
Right. That's right. And so, we always tell them, like, be safe, have fun, and be able to meet their needs spiritually as well as physically.
How did you start it?
No, ma'am. I did not
Tell
start
us
it.
the story of how you got
Okay,
involved. I missed that part because I love
I-
everything you've said, but I want to hear
This is new to me.
when did
so.
Cindy walk in.
Yes.
When did it
So
come to
actually, Don Smith started it. Now it's been almost 40 years, I think.
who is
35,
Don
40
Smith?
years. I have never met the man.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he's the one who started
It out of the trunk of his car. And it just
my
grew.
Lord.
And it turned into like a back storage room at the old Restore building. And then about 8 years ago, I actually found a newspaper article. And it said, Manna Ministries is looking for a new location, and they will temporarily be using Shepherd's Harvest Church as their temporary location until they find a permanent one. Well, y'all, we're still there. That's been 8 years. But the church deeded over the property to us. Manna Farms, oh my goodness. So we have a farm. Manna Farms was at Limestone Park, and they are now on our property, and we have beds of produce that we grow and we harvest and we hand those out.
Wow.
So to answer your question, how I got started in this, I used to be a college basketball coach. I am now fellow realtor in our spare time, right?
That's right. We're not busy doing anything.
No, we're good. To not get into the whole story, God really changed me and changed my life as I was getting out of coaching and just trying to figure my life out. That was before I even got into real estate. I had kind of a year where I was kind of hanging out and figuring it out. And I worked for a great landscaping company, had the best summer of my life. But God just laid it on my heart, like, hey, it's time to give back. When you're a college basketball coach, I feel like there's no time for anything. Like, literally nothing. You're constantly traveling, watching film, recruiting, all the things. Plus, remember, I was very far from God. So he said, hey, it's time to start giving back. Well, I was at dinner with some friends. Some of their friends were with us as well. And I had mentioned, and it was right around this time of year. So like my anniversary is either this weekend or next weekend. So that's cool.
That is cool.
They said, I mentioned giving back, and they said, well, we just helped at Manna Ministries down the road. We were at Champy's that night. And they're like, we had so much fun. Why don't you check them out? And I thought, okay, cool. So it's right down the road. I like that. I don't have to travel far.
Convenience, yeah.
So when I called the phone number, Phyllis Harbin answered, and at the time she was Madam Director. She was the president of the board.
Wow.
And I called her and introduced myself and said I would like to come volunteer. She said, well, come on, just come help. I was like, okay. My job that day was handing out plastic bags, and I was like, there's got to be, like, okay, like, but I was just trying to figure it out.
Right.
It's very hard for me to stand in one place. But I was handing them out because at the time they would go around and they were picking out their own produce.
Gotcha.
Right. And so I was just kind of feeling it out. So that was 7 years ago, either this weekend or next weekend.
Wow.
I know it was right before Thanksgiving.
7 years.
So I'm going on my 8th year, about to start my 8th year with Manna Ministries, and
Wow.
have literally been there almost every weekend since then, except, again, holidays or if I'm with my family or on vacation. But it's, near and dear to my heart. And there's so many clients, you get to know them and you get to know their stories. And then you hear that, some of the older ones that they pass on, and it just breaks your heart, and there's some really sad stories around that as well. But holy cow, have we been blessed. I mean, we're handing out sometimes close to 100,000 pounds of food a weekend. Like,
wow.
That's
Now, you said this is
lot of
every
food.
weekend, every first Saturday,
It's
every Saturday?
so it's every weekend.
Okay.
Because we're using the Highlands parking lot, you can show up whenever you want, to be honest. But you'll get in line. They will start signing you in about 5:30, 6 o'clock. At 6:45, the first group of cars gets sent over to Manna Ministries.
Okay.
We've got a bunch of people still like down in the basement getting everything ready. Mm-hmm. And then at 7:30, we stop and we basically, welcome all of our volunteers, tell them thank you for coming. We pray. We take pictures, and then we split up into our basement and then our loading crew. And then they get further instruction, and then we're rolling by 8 o'clock. And then the goal is to be done by 10:30. And so our parking lot does close at 10:30. So if you're there by 10:30, we're going to get you food, even if it's peanut butter and jelly and a few cans and some noodles. Like, we will have that at the very least.
I love
But
it.
that's part of like that, rotating things and making sure we have at least something, like anybody who comes up, that we have at least something.
Right.
Wow.
And we don't have there's no requirements. I had a friend text me today that said, hey, I have somebody that wants to come to Manna. They need some help. What are the requirements? Does it matter where they live? Does it matter how much money they make? No, it like literally
if you need
does.
it, you're there.
If you need it, we're here to serve, and I kind of think about Jesus in that aspect.
Sure.
Like, Jesus wasn't like, well, you're out of my territory, or we're
wow.
not
From
supposed
that
to
religion,
talk
not
to you.
mine, so we
right.
can't talk.
Like,
No.
we're not supposed to help. No, it's the Good Samaritan, right?
Yeah,
Like, we are here to serve you. We're here to be the hands and feet of Jesus.
Amen.
So you can find me on Facebook. My phone number is plastered everywhere. So 205-800-9183. That's right. 9183. You can text me. I don't care. If you want to volunteer, if you have someone that needs help and they need food.
Do you have a website that you want to tell?
We are on Facebook. We don't
that's
have
okay.
the means right now
But
to
you can
manage it.
message them on Facebook.
Yes, you can send us a direct message on Facebook. I will receive that. And Laura Lynn, who's our president right now, her and I monitor the Facebook. But yes, if there's, and we had someone last week that was like, I can't get there on Saturday. All right, well, I have a secret, so let me help you. I can still help you, right? So there's ways. There's ways, yeah. We are certainly always looking for more volunteers, especially in January and February when it's 20 degrees out at 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning.
You mean people
Bring your gloves.
That's crazy.
People are still hungry. It's
To get
so
food,
wild.
yeah.
That too, it's not just Christmas and Thanksgiving.
That's right.
It's every week.
That's right. Well,
Because
and
how often do you go without food? If you don't have the money for it, do you skip a couple of weeks? No. You do your best to have it they have to eat every week, so they have to have people that help them do that.
That's right. We're always looking for monetary donations. We are run 100% on volunteer and donations. So having donations come in is huge. Right now, we are raising money for our holiday boxes. So for Thanksgiving and Christmas, we hand out special holiday boxes. They have 10 to 12 canned goods in them. So typically things that you would use around the holidays.
Sure.
And then like stuffing mix or cobbler mix, some rice and beans and things like that. So
Don't
you can
forget the
make
cranberry sauce.
right. So you can make a meal. It's
Yeah,
supposed to feed a
the
family
box.
of 4. And it also comes with either a frozen turkey breast or a chicken, whole frozen chicken.
Nice.
Each box is $12. So for $12, you can help basically sponsor or provide food for a family of 4 for this holiday season. We have ordered 2,000 boxes because we think we're going to be over 1,000 for Thanksgiving.
Oh, wow.
Usually, in the last several years, Christmas is lower. Thanksgiving is our highest by far. When this is like posted and I'm on my phone, I can put the link in the comments for that. What did I forget? I have so many more stories.
How do they private message you with if they want to contribute? I'm just
You
asking.
can drop a
They
message
can,
here in comments and say,
Oh, okay.
you can say your name, or you can message us, but you can also reach Cindy. Cindy is linked in our Facebook post that we posted earlier today. You'll see her name. So that's if it's in blue, that's Cindy Hilbrick, and you can click her name and it'll take you right to her page.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can also
I
go
didn't know
to
that.
Manna Ministries, which is also one of the blue. Like if you look at the post of this show, it's in the blue as well. You can click that blue link and it'll take you to Manna Ministries. You'll message there, which will also be to Cindy. So all of these will take you to
Well, that's
Cindy.
all right. It's
All
a way to get
roads
to
will
you.
lead
That's
to
right.
Cindy, and
That's
what
right.
and
That's
she'll
funny.
get you where you need to be. But volunteer if you have, then give, and if you need, then ask. It's as simple as that.
Yes.
Wow.
And we do, if you're a Highlands member, any campus, it's on the Serve app every third Saturday. So if you're looking for a way to serve with your family, maybe get involved with other church members, you can find it on the Highlands app for every third Saturday. And you don't have to wait for
I
the
was
third
gonna say-
Saturday. You can come whenever you want. But
And
it
you
is on
don't
the app.
have to be a member of Highlands to come serve either.
No, you don't.
Oh, no.
Well, I don't care it doesn't matter what church
You're
you're
not-
at.
we
It
just
does
want people
not
who
matter.
care.
It does not matter at all. We welcome everybody.
So
Yay.
it's $12 for a holiday box,
to-
Thanksgiving box.
Yes.
Now y'all writing all that down because we did say get pens, piece of paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do have a special link for that, so
Oh,
that it's
okay.
earmarked specifically for that. So I
Okay.
can post that in the comments when we wrap up.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yay! Thank you for sharing.
Thank
all
you.
of
Well,
that.
if you
I
think of something
appreciate it.
else after Leslie gets through,
Oh
you
gosh, there's
Yeah, think about it while she's talking.
Yeah.
so much more.
All right,
Something that
Thank
they
you
need
so
to
Miss
know.
Leslie
Yeah.
Spencer. It's time for her to talk about. We went from helping the families and the our needs in life, or the people we had for the show. We were going to have the children covered, which is Leslie.
Yes.
We were going to have the family and food because families need food,
Oh, yeah.
and then Sela's Oasis is a women's ministry. And again, I'll tell you more about that. I'm going to read actually what they are after it's at the end. But now we're going to talk about the children of the world because they also whole other just their own box of
Yeah.
things. And this
Oh, my
this
God.
is an amazing ministry. So Leslie's going to tell us all about what they do and what they're about and how she got involved in it.
Okay, so my name is Leslie Spencer, and I am the director for Royal Family Kids. There are 5 camps in the state of Alabama. I'm in charge of camp, kind of our numbers, number 218, but there are only 5 for the entire state. There's us, there is one out of Gardendale, there's one in Madison, and then there's one in South Alabama. That is not enough to cover all of the kids that are in foster care, but we focus on children that have a history of trauma, whether it be through abuse, neglect, or abandonment, ages between 6 and 12. And we provide them a week at camp at no cost to the foster family or to the state. And then we try to pour into them throughout the year. We firmly believe that a week can change a life. I personally believe a day can change your life. A moment can change your life. But we take that moment and those, we call them moments throughout the week, to just truly invest in them so that they understand that although they may not have had the best start in life for reasons that are absolutely out of their control, there are still people that love them and want the best for them, and that is a cycle that they can break. I have been involved with our camp for 14 years. I've been the director for the last 5. Our camp has been in existence for 15 years total. We are part of a national organization. It's actually started in California by Wayne Tesh in 1985. It's either 85 or 86, and I get it wrong every time.
It's fine.
And there are actually a few camps that are international now. So it's been I tell anyone if they ever think about possibly volunteering with camp, I will tell you it is the greatest week of your life that you never knew you always needed. It will change you. We are there for the kids and to bless them, but honestly, they bless us, I feel like, way more than we could ever bless them. It's really...
So it's 1 week in the summer?
It is 1 week in the summer.
And how do you get, first of all, how do kids come to you? How do you get the names of kids? Are they foster? Is it like their grandparents? I mean,
they all have been in DHR care at some point. Now, sometimes they may be under the care of family members, and sometimes they may have been adopted out. But especially the older kids, even though you've been adopted out, that trauma that you've gone through, it doesn't just magically disappear.
It came with you.
It comes with you. And our camp is aimed directly for those kids, to give them the chance to be the kids that they may not have had a chance to get. Let them have some control. They get to make choices.
Tell us what the camp does for them. Like, tell us little activities and stuff about the camp. We
are up at 7 a.m. and we stay up until 11 o'clock at night most nights. And it's programmed to where they're, again, they have options. Options are a very big thing for them. We
getting
can be
some control.
Yes, they get to make some choices for themselves. Whether it's I'm going to go swimming now, or I'm going to go fishing, or I'm going to go out on the paddle boats, or I'm going to ride the trikes, or I'm going to go to arts and crafts. We have all that kind of things for them. There are activity centers for them as well. Like, we'll go and in the mornings after breakfast, we have like learning time. We have Bible lessons. There's a drama they get to watch. We get to sing, lots and lots of singing. And they, like I said, they get like a Bible daily object lesson to go with it. We have scavenger hunts. You name it. It's pretty much any typical summer camp. It's just aimed at a specific group of kids.
And the people that lead them, how do you get those people, and what do they have to do? Because I'm sure you don't just get people off the street and go, hey, go be with kids. Kind of tell us what you do to make it a safe space, and obviously there'll be vetting, I'm sure, that kind of thing.
So,
how does that get set up?
So if anyone is interested, they would let us know, and then we have to do a background check on you. We actually do 2 background checks on you. We have one through a national corporation, and then we have one that we have to do through the state of Alabama. And then for your first year, there are 12 hours of training that are required. 8 of it is brand new training, and there's 4 hours additional online training that you have to complete. And then our returners each year have to maintain 8 hours of training. We also do a lot of the TBRI training, the trauma-based relational training.
Oh, that makes sense.
So yes, there is a lot of
extensive training.
Extensive training, yes, and it is you are making a dedication, and you are setting a time aside. It is an entire week at that camp. We get there Sunday, and we leave the following Friday.
I hear you have birthday parties for the kids while they're
there. Birthday parties are the best.
How does that work? They get their own cakes? And
yes, we set up an entire birthday party for all the kids. We call it everybody's birthday. They come in and they have a present waiting on them. They have
everybody at the camp gets a birthday?
All the kids.
That's so cool.
Yes, all the kids. They'll have their birthday present.
Because there's some that have never had a birthday, I would imagine, right?
Every year we have some that have told us they've never had a birthday party. And
in their whole life.
In their whole life.
And the ages of the camper, tell me what that is.
6 to 12 is our focus area.
Is the focus, which is your main childhood.
Yes. Kind of after 12 is, they get boy and girl crazy and all that good kind of stuff.
They ain't interested in camp for other
reasons. We let the mentors handle that part.
Right. And the mentors are returning?
Yes, we have had now, because we've been in existence as long as we have been. We have had kids that have gone all the way through camp and are now coming back as volunteers. And that's the most amazing thing to me, is when they get to come back. And
Can you imagine how great that would be?
It's so funny because they're
How
like, I
fulfilling.
didn't realize all this went on behind the scenes. I'm like, yes, we're very busy behind the scenes. I'm like, we had no idea. I'm like, that's the point. You're not supposed to know everything.
Oh,
that
the one,
goes
the
on.
kids coming back didn't realize what the other people had to do. Oh,
It's a lot of work, I'm
wow.
sure.
It
That's
is. They will be
amazing.
like, it was more, it was less tiring when I was here as a kid than as I'm here as a volunteer. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
yes,
Now, the
yes, it
most
is.
you can have at the moment at yours, because you said there's only 5, obviously, you got to
You mean at one
facilitate those
camp?
5 at one camp. How many did you say can come and
So-
facilitate at the one you go to? And by the way, you did talk about when the kids have the camp, it's private. No
Yes.
one knows where they're at. There's a lot.
Right, we don't
All the
tell-
steps of protection are into place.
A lot of our kids, unfortunately, have protective orders, so we do not tell the location of our actual camp. That's something that even our volunteers learn later on. And then when we're at the camp itself, we are in our own little area. We don't really commingle with any other groups or anything like that. Kind of a funny story is we were down at the pool a couple of years ago, and we came back up to our camp, and we were letting the boys out. And, they were all with their big campers and everything. And then there was this one little boy, and we were kind of looking at him. And I was like, hey, buddy, who's your big camper? And he was like, my what? I was like, who's your big camper? And he was like, oh, I'm not with your camp. And I was like, why are you with us? He said, well, y'all look like they were having so much fun. So I just came back with y'all. So we had to take him back to the group.
Oh, my
Oh,
word.
no, he wasn't even yours.
He wasn't. I can successfully say we
my
have
God.
never lost a kid, but we have gained a kid somehow that we did take back because he was not ours to
I
take.
love that.
He just wanted to come.
He said he's like, you guys were having so much
much
fun.
fun.
I was just coming with y'all. And I was like, yeah, you gotta go back to the.
And your groups of people come from churches in the area. I know, like I said, I know about this, and I will tell my sister Cindy, who is behind the camera tonight. Her whole family, kids now, she left her kids to go do it, and then their whole family did it, and then her children became camp. They were like, I think there's a age that they can become.
15 is the youngest.
So even if you're younger, you can still help.
Yes, 15 is the youngest you can volunteer at camp.
Right.
And the oldest person we've had at camp, I'm trying to remember how old Granny was. She was 80.
Oh, well,
love
praise
that.
God.
Yes.
Everybody needs a granny
So
now.
I promise you, anyone from age 15 to 90.
So if
I
you
can find
think
a
that you
role for
can't, then you can.
amazing.
I mean,
Yes.
and again, back to you can facilitate how many children only because you don't have enough volunteers that you can't.
Right.
You have to have volunteers
We
to
have
have
to have
children.
the volunteers. The good thing about our camp is, as far as we don't call our counselors counselors. They're called big campers. Because a lot of
okay.
these kids are already doing therapy, and sometimes there's a negative connotation to that.
That makes sense. Y'all think of everything.
We call them big campers, but the maximum that one big camper will have is 2 children.
That makes sense.
They need
That
the
tracks.
one-on-one
Yeah,
interaction kind of thing. And so right now, the most we've ever taken has been 64 kids.
64?
64.
But if you had more, you could do more.
Correct. If
Had more big campers.
Do y'all
we had
hear?
more
You hear? If you
big
have more, we
campers
can
and
do more.
funds. Funds are the other thing. Again, because we do not charge for our camp at all. It is in like Manna, we are completely 100% volunteer based. There are no paid positions or anything. So we are responsible for raising all of our money, and we do with the help of the good Lord.
Yeah,
every
amen.
year.
How do you do that, though? I mean,
We do various fundraisers.
Oh,
We
okay.
try to get through some grants. It is a year-round thing. Kind of 2 things that we have coming up is, one, we are going to be producing a calendar, and it has artwork from our prior campers. I'm very excited about that.
Where can we go to buy that?
I will have a link available shortly.
I'm going to send links later, people.
Yes.
We're going to have links on this stuff.
And that, and then in honor of it being our, having just completed our 15th year of camp, we're kind of doing a program 15 for 15. I'm looking for 15 people that will donate $15. That's it. And all of our volunteers are going to kind of be doing that kind of
love
program, $15 for 15 years.
Nice.
So that is
like that.
That's clever.
This weekend we'll actually be working up at the BJCC for the Pink concert. That's one of the fundraisers we do, like the ushers, the people that take the tickets. Those are generally from some group that is working for money, and our group is one that does that. So
You'll raise money that way.
we get out there. And
You'll actually work
we earn
for
our
the money.
We
Working
try,
hard for the money.
yes.
Isn't that a song?
Yes.
It's an effort that we put in because the children are worth it.
Yeah.
They need
Oh, it's
somebody
an
to put
investment.
forth.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's our way of investing in them as well. And it's one of those things. Sandy can testify to it as well. You go in not really knowing what to expect, and you're nervous and you're not sure, like, is this child going to like me? And I've done just about every role at camp that
Am I going to be able to? Am I equipped to handle whatever's coming through those
doors? Are they going to like me? Are they not going to like me? Are they going to have fun? The whole 9 yards. And it's just God takes care of it, and
He really does.
He does, and you're exhausted at the end of the week, and you think I'm done. I'm going to take a break and everything, and then come Saturday morning, you wake up and you're like, okay, I'm ready to go back to camp. Like let's start planning next year. Like it is exhausting, the week itself, but you get so much out of it. It is the best kind of exhaustion you could possibly have.
I feel like both of y'all feel that way. I feel like you come home exhausted on the Saturday, and you come home after that. And that's a week. That's 7 days in a row.
Yes.
And it's 1 week in the summer every year.
Yes.
And you've done it for 15 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then we try to do a few events throughout the year, whether it's like a Christmas party or help with back to school supplies or a spring fling, anything like that we can try to do to, again, let the kids know. One of my favorite stories to tell about camp. So what they get one of the things that they get at the end of the camp is they get a photo album. And we have photographers that have been there all week taking pictures and everything, and they get their photo album of their entire week of camp.
Oh,
And even the kids that have graduated out and have come back to work, and volunteer at camp still have their photo albums.
that's so
So
great.
we've got one little boy, his name is Jack. And after his first year of camp, he got his photo album and everything. And he's now since been adopted. And it's probably about 6 months after camp. And his now mom texted me and she said, I have a story I wanted to tell you. She said, I was having a really bad day. She said, life, everything just kind of got the best of me. She said, I try not to let Jack see me upset. She's like, but he caught me crying. And, was really worried about me and everything. It's like, buddy, I'm fine. I'm just having a bad day. He went and he got his photo album and he handed it to her. And he said,
Oh, wow.
Whenever I'm sad, I look at this and this makes me feel better and I want you to look at my pictures.
That's so sweet. Oh my
He's
goodness.
the cutest little kid. And that's like, Jack was, he was about that tall, blonde-headed, and had more energy than probably everybody at that camp combined. But he's the cutest little kid and just, a ball full of energy, but he was such a sweetheart.
Yeah.
And that's...
And he'll never forget y'all.
Nope. And he's graduated out now, and he still has all of his photos.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That's precious.
So, Leslie, how did you know you're
How did
supposed
you
to
get
do
involved?
this?
So, our church was the sponsoring church for our particular camp, and my husband, whom I've been married to for almost 22 years now,
Congratulations.
actually adopted, and he is a little bit of an anomaly because he was 6 when he was adopted, and as most people know, the older you get, the the chances of your getting adopted go down significantly. And he would call me every night when he got his big camper relief. He's like, you need to do this, and our kids were still small at that time. And so the next year I went, and then it's just, again, once you go, and he has been all 15 years. And wow.
And you've been 14.
And I've been 14.
And my sister's been 14. Like, once you go, I guess you have to go. I can't imagine not
We have
that.
several people that have either been the entire 15 years or been the majority, and sometimes like they may have to take a year off, and then they always come back.
Wow.
It's just one of those things. Again, like I said, it's the greatest week you never knew you always needed.
And the kids are worth it.
The kids are more than worth it.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Yes, ma'am.
What? I know it's a ministry and everything, but what happened inside you? Is that a good question?
It is, and it's kind of interesting to me because like the first year that I went, I was a big camper, and I will be completely honest, I was probably not the best big camper. It takes a special person to really do that, and like my strengths are in more organization and kind of behind the scenes and everything, and especially once I figured that out and found my role in that, and knowing that even if I'm not necessarily having that entire one-on-one time with a kid, what I'm doing is still making their camp experience.
Oh, absolutely.
And somebody's got to do what you do
And
so they
somebody
can
has
do
to
what they do.
Correct.
Yeah.
And really being able to see how all the roles, like you kind of talk about how like chaotic it gets. It's organized chaos.
That's right.
Organized chaos, and being able to know my role in that, and again, whether it's spending 5 minutes with a kid, or we've had people that work in activities, and they're kind of like the arts and crafts people and all that kind of thing, and they'll always my friend Dawn, she's a teacher at Blount County, and she the first year after I took over, I talked her into coming, and she's like, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know if this is for me. And there was this one little boy, and he was her best friend
that
the
was
whole
it.
week.
There you go.
She's been she didn't get to come 1 year because she had her knee replaced, but other than that, she's been every year. I mean, it's there's inevitably either there's always a child that will get to you, and the people that you get to spend that week with. I mean, we all know you don't know someone until you live with them.
True.
You really don't. And you
really
live
don't.
with people for that whole week, and the friendships that have been made from that alone also make it very, very worthwhile, because you get to meet people that you probably wouldn't have met otherwise. You interact with people that you wouldn't have interacted with otherwise. You get to know people that maybe, look different than you, or think different than you, or, whatever it may be, but you still have that common bond of we're here for the kids. And then friendships, really build. I mean, I always think of Josh and Will, because, I mean, they were, not
Josh
very...
is my nephew, and
Yes.
Will is your son? Who's
No,
Will?
Will is his best friend that, they were different people, but camp, I think, is one of those things that really forged their friendship all these years later. I mean, it's amazing how, again...
Well, that's why it's called a fellowship.
Yes.
Well, see, you
That's what we
remember
are.
what's so, you and her both, you remember the names.
Yes.
I mean, how many thousands in 15 years?
Oh, my
It's
goodness.
a lot of kids.
Yeah.
And Cindy connecting so much that there are people that she has grieved.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I've seen her through these times, and it's
So there's
personal.
always somewhere to serve.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Always.
Absolutely.
And so, again, you two have done an amazing job, talked about incredible places that move my heart, move me to tears, break my heart a little, as it should.
Yeah.
We are the human race, and we are supposed to take care of each other, and you're out there doing and being the hands and feet that God created you to do and be. He put a call on your life, and I love the fact that you thought you did it, and you're like, okay, that's not me, but it doesn't mean that I can't help. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're not necessarily great at this particular being with kids and all that stuff, but you're good at organizing, or like with Cindy, who handles all the crazy chaos and figures out that role, and yet there are those people there are the huggers, and there are the prayers, and there are the let me talk to you, or look them in the eye, or see them. All of us have a gift and a role that God placed us and gave us. And these people are just out there. And I just don't, at this time of the year, there's no reason not to. There's no reason not to help some. If you, like I said, if you have, then give. And if you need, then ask.
Yeah.
So no matter where you find yourself in this today.
And I was going to say, for me personally, one of the greatest things that has really come out of camp is now that my kids, I mean, because when we started, my kids were little, and my son Saturday turns 20, and my daughter's about to turn 17. And the first year that she got to come to camp, they had always kind of been like, and maybe in my office helping me get stuff organized, and, none of the really fun, glamorous things. But when she got to come to camp, I mean, on that Friday when she was getting ready to leave and everything, she was just bawling and squalling, and she's like, I finally get it. I get it now. I understand why you work so hard throughout this. And she's like, I get it. And, again, she's a junior in high school, and she's getting ready to graduate and everything, and, looking at colleges and stuff, and she's looking into social work.
I love that.
That's her time at camp.
You never know what these little moments or these little interactions are going to do, not just for you, but all the people around you, and where it's going to lead. The doors, opportunity leads to doors opening somewhere that you never expected to be. Like Cindy going just because she wanted to give, and then now she's
because a
on the
friend
board
told her.
because she's on the board of directors for the place. Like, you don't know what God's got.
Because for the sake, because I want to know. The people, our audience, is there ways to get in touch with you, or does that have to come through certain avenues?
You can get in touch with me directly. I kind of like Cindy, my phone number is everywhere.
We are so
We love
confident.
it.
There are no
It is.
secrets in this
So
trip.
my cell phone is 205-370-8709. Text me, call me. I'm more than happy. In the comments, I'll also put my email.
We're going to put all the links and
Yes.
all the
And I'll
little
put in-
all the promotions,
Yes.
all the
I'm
fundraisers.
very easy to find. We don't have a Facebook page right now, but we do have an Instagram page.
There you
so
go.
I will share that as
That's
well.
that is one great thing about media is that there is ways.
Oh,
to
it's
get
a
fish.
great time.
It is
Right
just
now,
like
it's a great
everything
time.
else. It can be a
Yes.
blessing or a curse, and it's how
That's
you
right.
use it.
Yes.
And we are going to use it for good. But anyway, we do thank all of you for sticking with us and for listening to this episode. We know, I don't even have to question
yeah.
that you got something out of this. If you want to volunteer, if you want to give, if you want to be a part of either of these organizations, and again, if you know of people that need these organizations, write down this information because it is our job to help others. We thank you so much for being with us tonight. And remember Proverbs 31:25. She is clothed in strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. These ladies are a perfect example of that. They really are saints. You guys have the best week. Oh, and look for me. And I'm going to be at SIS Oasis. I will tell you more about them. We're going to go to the place on Thursday, but I'm going to post it next Tuesday, and you'll get to hear all about their testimony and the incredible things that Ashley Live Oak is doing there at SIS Oasis. We missed you, Ashley. Yes.
Before we go,
Yes, ma'am.
it was 15 for 15 and
$12 for the holiday box.
for a holiday
15
box.
and 12.
15 and 12.
Okay.
I just want to get that
We'll
because
take 15. So just
Yeah. I love it. All right. Bye, everybody. Y'all have a great
Bye-bye.
night. Love y'all.